Hi everyone, my name is Sui and I'll be discussing the third part of the discussion of training and development, which is the training delivery methods. So in our discussions, we'll cover quick and actionable examples and a short videos at the same time to help us understand the topic even better, okay? So let's start by defining what training is. So training is a set of systematic processes designed to meet learning objectives related to trainees' current or future job. So I believe we have been through a lot of training, so we're quite familiar with this. Well, the training delivery method consists of the materials and techniques used by the trainers to structure learning experience. Question: do you remember your first job experience? Because I do. I guess everybody does. Since, as what we have remembered, when we started in a new company or when we are just new or it's our first job, we're like, have you noticed that we're like a sponge? We need to observe all the company's information, its policies and procedures, our rules and responsibilities. So it's quite an experience that we can't forget at all. Before we proceed, let me show you a video that something we can relate into in our first job. Though it's a different industry because it's a training tool of one of the famous American fast food chain, Wendy's. So it's a different industry, but the experience is still the same. We have the training in our first day, correct? So let's start this video. Check this out.
Here's a crew guide and the grill training tape. Why don't you have a look at the tape first, and I'll check back with you in a few minutes.
All right.
What the?
Who? You're about to learn some grill skills. So let's get busy now. Come on, let's go.
Now working the grill, Bill, it ain't so tough. But first of all, you got to check your stuff. Like a grill that's set at 250 with the meat and cheese that's ready to go. A towel to keep your station looking cool. But most of all, you got to have your tool. Are you with me now? Get ready. We're gonna lay them down. Now, beats got grain to it just like wood. You got to follow the arrow to lay it down like you should. From the front to the back, you got to lay it down. Space it evenly, not scattered around. Next, you got to salt the meat from the back to the front to make the taste complete. Not too little, not too much. With a little finesse, you'll get the touch. What's coming up next is our key to success. We'll turn the meat and do a four-corner press. Don't wait too long, I emphasize, or the meat won't reach the proper size. When things start to sizzle, you're ready to go. Gently turn the meat, but don't be slow. Just turn them over easily. We don't want a broken patty, that's a guarantee. Press out the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rock it a bit, are you keeping score? Top and bottom, left and right, and you'll get a patty that's out of sight. Press out the corners nice and wide, at least half an inch on both sides. The reason you press, you gotta think, when the meat hits the grill, it starts to shrink.
We start shrinking when we hit that grill, you know it will. We start shrinking when we hit that grill, you know it will.
When you see red juices on the top of the meat, it's time to give the turn and press a repeat. Do it again just like you did before. Do the four-corner press just one time more. Now once you pressed it the second time, don't press them again because the meat's just fine. But when you see red juices rise, turn the patty over to the other side. Don't scrape the grill, we want it wet, you see. And keep the meat moist so it's hot and juicy. When the meat's red juices no longer rise, you can serve that patty, it'll win a prize. It takes about 4 minutes to cook, but just to make sure you can have a look. Use your tool and double check. It should be gray and moist to be correct. And orders placed, you're ready to go. Drain the meat just like so. Once the draining is totally done, place the patty squarely on the heel of that bun. Now there you go, Billy, you give it a shot. Don't be afraid, I think you're gonna be hot.
Where do I start? What do I do?
Just remember the rap, Billy, and you'll be cool.
Well, meat's got grain to it.
Just like wood.
Follow the arrows
Lay it down like you should.
from front to back. Lay it down.
Space it evenly, not scattered all around.
Next, I've got to salt the meat.
From the back to the front, it makes the taste complete.
Not too little.
Not too much.
With the little finesse, I think I'm getting the touch.
Hey, when things start to sizzle, you're ready to go.
Gently turn the meat, but don't be slow.
Just turn them over easily.
We don't want a broken patty.
That's a guarantee.
Press them now, right?
Top and bottom, left and right.
Press out the corners nice and wide, about ½ an inch on every side.
Try choking up a bit on the spatula. Hey, all right. Okay, what's next?
Let me see. I've salted, turned, pressed. Oh yeah. When you see red juices on the top of the meat, it's time to give them a turn, then press a repeat. Do it again just like you did it before. Do the four-corner press just one time more. Once you press it the second time, don't press it again, because the meat's just fine.
But when you see those juices rise,
You can turn that patty to the other side. Don't scrape the grill, we want it wet, you see.
it keeps the meat moist so it's hot and juicy.
And when those red juices no longer rise, you can serve that patty. It'll win a
Prize.
It takes just about 4 minutes too.
Cook,
But just to make sure, you can take a
look,
use your tool to double check.
it should be great and moist to be correct. Hey!
When an order's placed, you're ready to go. Just drain the meat.
Just like so.
Then when all the draining's done, you can place that patty squarely on the heel of the bun.
All right, Billy. That's good. You're getting it down just like I knew you would.
Stage 1, I'm raw, you just laid me down. I'm stage 2 and I'm getting brown. You turned me and pressed me just one time, but there's 2 more stages before I'm fine. I'm stage 3, you pressed me twice, just 1 more stage before I'm nice. Stage 4, I'm hot, I should be done, looking good like I should so you can serve me, son. I'm stage 5 and I'm still alive, but serve me soon and don't be slow. I've only got 1 minute to go.
The projection game is simple, you see. It's just common sense. That's the way it ought to be. When you know a lot of people will be coming around, don't hesitate. Start laying them down. When things slack off, do the same or you'll be wasting meat, and that would be a shame. Just one last thing I've got to say. It has to do with the Wendy's way.
Always serve top quality, nothing less than the best, that's a guarantee.
Remember this rap and you'll be hot. Give the grill your very best shot, and soon you develop some real grill skill. You'll be tough on the grill, yes you will. Mr. Bill.
Bill, the tape is over. Do you have any questions?
No, I think I've got it all.
I won't get burned in the rush because I don't give up.
What can you say about the video? I guess we're just on the same page. I bet you can't get a tune out of your head after listening to it, correct? Because this excellent training video was used by Wendy's to train their new employees on how to grill their perfect burger. So although the video is over 20 years old already, but the concept used are still correct up to this day. So even though the song gives a funky fresh beats, or the lightings nowadays is used for the horror movies, but because of the clever and memorable lyrics, it is clear and without a doubt that Wendy's training tool is a hype for a long time. It's one of the type of training delivery methods. So to know if what type it is, let's stay tuned and listen to my discussion. Okay? I have 8 delivery methods. The first one is the on-the-job coaching training delivery. Second is mentoring and coaching training delivery. Third is brown bag lunch. Fourth, web-based, job shadowing, job swapping, vestibule, and international assignment training. So these are the delivery methods that we will be discussing. Why do we have a training delivery methods? Because training delivery methods are very important to consider. Depending on the type of training that needs to be done or to be performed, but as what you have observed in your organizations, it doesn't settle for one training only. It has a combination of many trainings to complete the end process of your job. So this first discussion, which is the on-the-job coaching training delivery method. So OGT is a training when an employee learns the job in an actual working site in real-life situation. So this refers to an approved person training an employee to learn skills necessary to complete the task. It means learning while doing. Because the trainees will learn real-life work environment and it gain practical experiences because it will deal with the tasks and challenges in a normal working days. For example, the company has a new machine. So you have to train the employees on how to manipulate or how to maneuver that machines to adapt easily to a new working situations. So by doing this, the OGT is the most effective way, because they can easily ask questions or something like that. You can easily be corrected with the trainer. The method depends upon the quality of the trainer. So you have to choose the trainer wisely and effectively, because it's really essential, it's very important to have an efficient trainer for this or properly selected to make this system work. Okay. How on-the-job and development program give companies a competitive edge? First is that helps tackle shortcomings. Because you can ask directly, you can easily be corrected. Next is that it will increase productivity. It helps tackle shortcomings because you will not be afraid or you will not get shy to ask questions because you are new on that machine or in that work. So it will really help tackle shortcomings. Next is increases productivity, because this type of training involves employees using resources available for them at their workplace. So it allows them to learn while integrating into their everyday work environment. So after all, a well-trained and skilled employees mean increased productivity and growth in your organization. So next, third is that it will boost employees' morale. In a study concerning training and development conducted by Teaching Seat, a research and knowledge arm of TimeJobs.com, he revealed that over 40% of employers voted OGT or on-the-job training for increased productivity and 35% for enhanced employee morale in their organizations. So how? Because in OGT, you are encouraging open communication. In the other note, when you are training and leading staff, make sure that directions are clear and easily to understand, and it provides focus and regular feedback. So that boosts to employees' morale. Next is encourages creativity. Creativity inspires employees to work with each other. So businesses need to encourage the mindset of continuous learning, like encouraging employees to seek new information, knowledge, and new ways to do things. Because as what we have known, many unique ideas comes from just one person, but they are molded by a team to become fully formed. Enhances company's reputation and profile. Offering the right training and development program makes the company stand out in the recruitment sphere. As a result, employees are likely to feel valued if they're being invested in, right? And consequently with that, They will work hard, employees will work hard to exceed your expectations. Advantages of on-the-job training. The first one is trainer may not be experienced enough to train, or he may not be so inclined. Second, as what I've mentioned before, that the key point of this or the success of this system is your trainer. The main success of this system is your trainer. Second is that it's not systematically organized because it's a disadvantage if the trainer has a bad culture that is being passed on, and you can adapt into that, so that's a bad thing. And next is poorly conducted programs may create safety hazards, so that's the disadvantages. And these are the advantages of on the job which we discussed, but you can read it here. It's directly in the context of the job. It is often informal. It is most effective because it is learning by experience. It is least expensive. Trainees are highly motivated. It is free from artificial classroom situations. Coaching. Second is that mentoring and coaching training delivery method. So coaching is a thought as a process of training and supervising a person to better their performance. While mentoring, it refers to a counseling process carried on to guide and support a person to a career development. So we have myth and reality of coaching and mentoring. So coaching and mentoring are two. First is that coaching is for losers and last grasp efforts before being shown the door, while the reality is coaching is for winners who seek to go to a next level. That's right. So myth is coaching is about very cups, while reality for that is coaching is about an impossible future and changing your life. So next is another myth is coaching is a separate leadership development activity, while the reality for that is coaching integrates leadership development and results. So because coaching and mentoring are two most important skills in the arsenal of any leader, because they can use to drive and therefore better results from yourself and others. And also, it can also aid individuals in overcoming struggles and barriers to progress. This is very important. This is very rampant, especially in the sales-related or customer service-related job. Like in my experience before, I was in more on sales-related experience. So practically, we do coaching and mentoring as often as possible because we need to assess any changes to our performance matrix. So for merit, we will, let's say, just encouragement maybe on how to maintain and stay motivated by recognizing the good performance and more incentives for them. For low matrix, coaching from your team lead or immediate supervisor or superior is a must because he will analyze your performance keenly and has a professional expertise in correcting it. So whatever mistakes you've done. So in short, coaching will help the organizations to achieve its goal. So brown bag lunches are training delivery method meant to create an informal atmosphere. So as the name suggests, brown bag lunch. So it is a training, of course, during lunchtime. So employees bring their food and someone presents training information to them. The trainer could be HR or management or even just another employee showing a new technical skills. So brown bag lunches can also be an effective way because it is to perform team training as it brings people together in a more relaxed atmosphere. So there are three ways to format your lunch and learn. The first one is sharing approach. This is a topic that you are adept and can easily teach to others. So example, and I find that too often we have a fear of calling ourselves an expert of anything, especially as women. Drop that silly notion. It makes you feel better than substitute the word specialist than expert. So example of topics may sound like the 12 things I wish I knew when I started my career. So that's a sharing approach. Next, the second approach is exploring approach. This is a topic where you lead the audience through discovery process. What I love the most about this approach is how enlightened the audience is through the process of self-discovery. So you provide a path, they follow it and learn. So you enlightened, they grasp. So a fundamental piece in this approach is audience activities such as self-assessments or exercises, and by the time they have completed an hour with you, they have outlined something about themselves that is valuable and hopefully practical. So they walk away with accomplishing something that's practical and immediately useful. So that's exploring. Next is the last one is intriguing topic approach. So something you wish you know more about but that is trending now. So this is a great way to present something that you're admitted not an expert in but you are curious about. So the audience will relate to you in both aspects, the lack of expertise but also the curiosity. So here you are as a hero doing the background research to unearth more about it and share what you have learned. These are the approaches, the different approaches or ways to approach for your lunch and learn. Disadvantage of brown bag training delivery is that it can be low attendance and garnering enough interest from your employees who may not want to work during lunch breaks because there can also be inconsistency in message of training if delivered and not everyone is present to hear the message. Then the fourth is web-based training delivery. So this is all training programs. It doesn't matter which delivery method they use. Can be divided in 3 categories depending on the approach to the learning process. The first one is synchronous learning. Second is asynchronous learning. Third is blended learning. So let's start with the synchronous learning. Synchronous learning happens when a live instructor interacts with the group learners in real time. So it doesn't matter if the group is sitting in a brick and mortar classroom or online. The key thing is that they are being trained simultaneously. I have here a video.
Beijing. So what I'd like to now do is just ask everybody to introduce yourselves.
Well, it's just an actual Zoom class.
My name is Eda.
So that's synchronous. Second is that asynchronous learning. It is often called self-paced learning since it allows learners to study courses at their own speed. So most e-learning content is asynchronous, like workout videos. Just like with the videos, there's no real-time communication between the learner and instructor. So in some cases, there's no interaction at all. And example for this is e-learning computer or web-based programs, training videos, podcasts, email courses, wikis and vlogs, printed workbooks, and are set up right now. We took the videos, uploaded, and you study or play it at your own pace. The 2 approaches, synchronous and asynchronous learning, can be combined in order to get the best both worlds. So for example, the One Learning a Day program by Danone, and in that program, it includes a self-paced e-courses on virtual platform. It also has a live workshops wherein you can interact with him, you can ask questions, and he can answer you, and networking sessions. And also, it has an on-the-job coaching. Job shadowing training delivery. It is a training delivery method that places an employee who already has the skills with another employee who wants to develop those skills. Benefit of job shadowing: work with colleagues from different areas, share your experience with others, learn from your visitor or guest, and the opportunity to view and reflect on your own areas of work, supported by the fresh-eyed view of the visitor guest, and develop your coaching and mentoring skills. For visitors or guests, You will understand how other departments work. You will learn from the experiences of your colleagues, understand and appreciate how other rules support the organization, and understand and appreciate other needs, priorities outside of your establishment work rule, and of course, the opportunity to discuss your rule and its needs and priorities with others, and understand why things work the way they do. 4. So 6 is that job swapping training delivery. So job swapping is a method for training in which two employees agree to change jobs for a period of time. So job swapping objectives and benefits. So let's discuss what are the different objectives and benefits of such initiative are follows. First is skill transfer and knowledge transfer. This is both to shrinking awareness in the workforce. So working in rules other than your own, working across department leads to an abundant information and skill sharing. Next objective for this is backup creation. One of the ripple effects of rule swapping is it ensures that there is proper backup to every rule in department and across different functional areas. In the event of an unwanted situation or absence of an employee, you can have a proper backup. Third is networking. It is also helps in identifying potential candidates for different projects. Then boost creativity, then rule progression. In rule progression, all the dynamic employees wanting rule change can benefit from their practice. Although rule progression does not equal promotion, yet you are presented with opportunities to explore your capabilities. So this takes you one step closer to your career progression. Next for that, less complaints, because this helps to understand the challenges faced by their peers too in completing their job. So there will be less complaints. Next, the most important is bigger perspective. Vestibule training is performed near the worksite in conference rooms, lecture rooms, and classrooms. So this may be an appropriate method to deliver orientation and some skills-based training. So for example, to become a journeyman, electrician, and apprentice perform job shadowing on the job and vestibule training to learn the law and codes related to electricity installation. So these are the combination of those. When we go to the school, there's a vestibule training delivery time. The pros for that, it is efficient dissemination of large volume of information, effective in explaining concepts, theories, and principles. It provides opportunities for discussion as well. And the cons for that, the learner does not control piece or content. Second, does not consider individual differences. Limited practice, limited feedback, and limited transfer. So the last one is international assignment training. The first is documentary training. It is a textbook and classroom learning which focuses on looking at differences between cultures and is a key part of both low and high rigor training approaches. So differences are examined because there are potential friction points that create misunderstanding and hurt feelings. You have probably heard many examples of cultural differences involving common human interactions such as greetings, gender relations, and the giving of gifts. For example, Asian business people differ to authority very differently from Westerners. They will not correct their managers, nor will they make suggestions in public that would cause their managers embarrassment. While it comes to food in China. Food in China is served hot and not to be offered cold food may be offensive or off-putting. Okay, after learning the cultural do's and don'ts of a host country, many companies will ask their employees to participate in cultural simulation, in which they will role-play various situations and practice responding in cultural sensitive ways. So, this process is most effective when training takes place in the host country, or when the trainer can include people from the actual host country to help. So the goal is to duplicate as closely as possible scenarios that the employees may face, such as having to question or to reprimand a local employee making a presentation to host country upon level managers, or how to approach a person of the opposite gender in countries where the sexes do not mix as freely as the United States. Employee and a family visits a neighborhood of the same ethnic background as a destination, or if the trainees are already in the country, then they moved out to the real world. So it really depends. Depending upon the conditions, an individual may be dropped into a rural area with limited resources and told to get back to the office, or a family may be moved into temporary housing so that they can meet the neighbors, shop for food, locate transportation, or just explore the area. When the simulation is over, the trainees come back to the center to compare notes and share experiences. So what are the benefits of doing it? So, what are the benefits of this training program? So for extended assignment, these benefits for both, for the employee and the employer, because it is a preparation for an employee or the employee's family as well, if it is included, for the success by the following. First is providing practical assistance for relocation efforts. Next is that giving the employees information that will allow her to make an informed decision about the assignment. Next is that providing emotional security about the change. This training program greatly reduces the chance that the employee will leave the assignment early because of a misunderstanding. Then, it will also increase the cultural sensitivity of the employee. By training employees on cultural matters, the company lessens the likelihood that its reputation will suffer among the host countries. Will suffer among the host country employees. So this training as well has a disadvantages. So the disadvantages for this is that the disadvantages to the company involves the cost of the training, that the out of the office of the employee to undergo the training. But this is just a small price to pay considering the potential benefits though. And finally, companies preparing their employees for an expat should also offer readjustment counseling when the employee is due to return, because re-entering back to your home country can produce a reaction called reverse culture shock that describes bewilderment and distress experienced by individuals suddenly exposed to a new, strange, or foreign social and cultural environment, in this case, their own country.
When you got orders to fill,
Province will identify what types of delivery method that can be when they is used to train them. So that is regularly under asynchronous types of training delivery. And that's the end for our training and delivery methods. Hope everybody's well. Thank you.